Hey there guys, in this video we're going to be going to the series boss battle EXT for Vlad, and we're going to be going for the 20 turn mission. I tried doing the 15, it was a little bit out of reach, so I adjusted the clear to get a nice smooth 20 turn clear. Now this does still require very strong units, good gear, EX levels, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was waiting for my Zon to hit EX3 from the Anniversary Selects, Replica, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get in here and give it a go. I will have a turn chart in the comments, and I'll explain stuff as we do it. So Vlad has a mechanic where if on turn 1 more than one person is alive, he will get permanent undispellable buffs. But if only one person is alive, he will not. So what we're going to do, Fundamental Force is going to imbue the party with ice. We're going to do her field. That's not the field. Hold on. Too many skills. Imbue the party with ice. Do her field. And then we're going to do Event Horizon to imperil the party to ice. Now we're going to retarget that on the party because normally you can't cast it on the party. So we're going to send Fundamental and then immediately target someone on our own party and target them. And that'll apply the imperil to our side. Now we're going to use our other Fundamental to LB for the Fist Imperil. Zon will do his field. We're going to guard Sylvie. And then Abigail will do Cover, Big Magic Break, and Shelga. Now, the whole party after that Imperil is under 100 Ice Resist, except for Sylvie, who is wearing enough to still be immune after the Imperil. And we're going to use Clive with his double hand for accuracy. Use triple AoE bolting on the party in order to kill our own party except for Sylvie. Now Sylvie will take the boss's attacks. Notice he says, so you two are alone. So Sylvie will now counterattack and revive our party. There we go. If she doesn't counter, restart the fight, try again. Okay, so we got killed, so now we need to rebuff everything. And notice the boss does not have the permanent buffs. These little attack and magic buffs are dispellable, they're temporary. Otherwise, we would have had permanent undispellable buffs. So Sylvie will go to the shift form, and we will do her Demon Killer on one of the fundamentals. We will do Ramping Thunder Amplify, and then Clever to refill the LB of the other fundamental. Abigail will cover Shelga and do the defense break, because remember, we got dispelled. Let's see here. Clive will do Elemental Break Fire for his modifier buff and double bolting. Zon will do Fatal on that fundamental that got the Demon Killer and double bolting. The full LB fundamental will do Event Horizon, Nebulous for the mitigation, and Bolting Strike, which is a perfect dispel to get rid of the defense buff. And the low LB one will do Heavenly and double bolting. Okay, so that was basically a setup turn. But we dispelled the boss's buffs, and we're good to go. Next turn, Sylvie will auto-cast a 75 Thunder Amp for the party. Okay. So now, we're going to go ahead and burst after all the auto-casting is finished. So Clive will do his LB, so will Zon. Now the reason on turn 3 we don't have the SLB is because we had our units die on turn 1, so it set our turns back a little bit. And then Abigail, after we do the LB, will triple Bar for Rage to fill it back up. And Sylvie will triple Clever to fill LB back up. So Clive's LB is a little bit slowish, so we're going to send him first and then the Extreme Nova team. And then we're going to refill the LB gauge. So every 4 turns, starting on 3, the boss is going to AoE dispel the party. So turns 3, 7, 11, etc. Now, if the boss does an AoE magic attack after dispelling, which is a chance, your tank will probably die and you might have a game over. The boss only did a single target attack after the dispel, so we were fine. If he had done the AoE after, reset the fight, I guess. Okay. So we got completely dispelled. So what we're going to do here, after autocasting, Sylvie will do triple. We're going to offense for the attack buff, Demon Killer on Zahn, and then just Clever to refill LB gauge. Zahn is going to do Deadly Daggers, Innervating for the 90 break, and then Projected, that big Demon Killer buff. And then we're going to SLB these, and then LB Clive. And then Abigail will, remember we got dispelled, so she's going to cover Shelga. And just bar for rage after we do all our stuff. So we go ahead and send this. Then we have Zahn share it. Then we send Clive, wait, send the Extreme Novas. And then we can send Abigail to rebuff and reapply. Okay, not bad. So some more attacks here. And as long as the boss is not dispelling, the damage shouldn't be too terrible. And thankfully, he only dispels in phase 1. Once we get below 50, he'll stop dispelling. But then he does other annoying stuff instead. We're going to get there, though. Okay, so on this turn, after the auto-casting, we're going to start getting set up for bursting yet again. So one of the fundamentals, the one that didn't last time, this one will Heavenly and double bolting. Other one will Nebulous and double bolting to apply that general mitigation. So Nebulous and double bolting. Zahn on this turn will refresh the field with Thick Fog. We will Fatal on one of the fundamentals and then just bolting. Clive will, again, his modifier and double bolting. Abigail will double break and contingency plan for the barrier. And then Sylvie will Thunder Amplify, again, the other charge, and then double Clever. So send this, wait just a second, and go ahead and send the rest of the party as we get set up for bursting yet again. The next Dispel happens on turn 7. Although on this turn, the boss is going to buff himself again, but we're going to Dispel it next turn, it's not a problem. Okay, so let's start getting ready for bursting. Sylvie just did the 75 Amplify for the party. So much auto-casting, give it a second. Okay, so Zahn will SLB. We will LB the fundamentals. SLB U. Abigail will drone, SP drone type to dispel the boss's buff. Then we will just, kind of whatever. Cover and shell, doesn't really matter. The game crashed. Okay, so I will be right back as I log back in. Alright guys, not sure what happened there, but anyway, so we're going to use SP drone type to dispel the boss, and then just kind of, whatever. Sylvie will shift at LB, while the rest of the party will SLB and then LB. So we'll send Sylvie to shift at LB for the modifier. We will dispel the boss's defense buff with Abigail. Then we will send Clive first, and then the Extreme Nova team. And deal a little bit more damage. Okay, not bad. So next turn will be the Dispel, but not this turn. Okay, so what we're going to do here. Wait for auto-casting yet again. Okay, we're going to refill LB gauge. So Abigail will double Barfaraja and then refresh the magic break. Sylvie will just triple Clever. Remember, we still have the Demon Killer from Zahn's spreaded buff. So you can see right here, Demon Killer 250. So, oh yeah, we need to, let's see, SLB. We'll go ahead and do these, refill the LB gauge. Then Clive will LB along with Zahn. And we're going to burst yet again. So we are getting dispelled this turn. So LB, and then burst a little bit. So once again, there's a very small chance that the boss might use a big AoE after his dispel. If so, Abigail would die, and we'd be very sad. But hopefully it doesn't happen. Return to nothing and no AoE. So we're fine. We're fine. And we're not getting dispelled anymore in the fight, so we're safe from here on out. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we got dispelled yet again. So after all this is finished casting, so Clive is now going to Elemental Fire. We're gonna LB Field with We Can Do This Together. Yeah, LB Field, because we're swapping elements now, and then we're going to Bolting Strike or Tag Chain. Doesn't matter. Where is it? I can't find it. There it is. Zahn is going to. Oh, hold on. Sylvie is going to Big Earth Amplify. We're going to Demon Killer on one of the fundamentals, and we're going to just Clever. Wait for that to finish. Okay, now Zahn can Fatal on the one that we gave the Demon Killer to. We're going to refresh Thick Fog and then do a Bolting. And then the fundamentals, one of them will Nebulous and the other one will Heavens. Looks like this one will Nebulous and then double Bolting. We're not doing the field, keep that in mind. We're switching the Clive's field now. This one will Heavenly and double Bolting. And then Abigail will cover Shelga. And then we're going to do Biothermal for the break immunity for the next few turns. So when the breaks wear off, they won't be reapplied. Okay. Now, we're going to Earth Amplify again with Sylvie because we want it to continue stacking up, and not yet. Let me look at my turn chart. Yeah, so now we're just doing LB, SLB, LB, LB. We're going to SLB Abigail, and Sylvie is going to, after all that, reapply the Earth Imbue, Amplify, and double Clever. So we need to not push the 50% yet. If we do, we'll just reset and do less damage. But we shouldn't push the 50 on. This is a small burst turn. That's fine. That's fine. So now we go ahead and do these. Yeah, we're gonna push the threshold on turn 11. That's going to skip a big AoE attack and all that. Also, it'll set us up for bursting properly to get a 20-turn clear. Okay, on turn 10, we're going to be getting set up for killing next turn. No, I'm sorry, not killing. For doing a burst next turn. So, we will have Zahn do Survival on himself, Fatal on himself, and then a Bolting Strike. One of the fundamentals will Heavenly, and then double Bolting. The other one will Nebulous and double Bolting. Yeah, we're not getting dispelled anymore. We're gonna skip the dispel. Let's see. Clive will do a small LB buff with Surpassing Limits, and then double Bolting. And then looking at my turn chart. Yeah, we're gonna do Enemy Analysis with Abigail, cover, and we're going to start casting Contingency on this turn, and we're going to Shifted LB our Sylvie. Okay, yeah. Let's go ahead and do all this, and then chain it up. And if this pushes 50%, chain less. That's fine. 52 is great. Okay, so some attacks right here. And next turn would be the Dispel, but we're going to push the threshold and skip it. So we're not getting dispelled next turn. Okay, so this is going to look... No, never mind. Okay, so this turn, Zahn is going to not deal damage. He's going to do Deadly, Innervating, and Projected. Remember, he's still keeping that Demon Killer on himself. So we're going to Projected Mirror the party here. Let's see here. Sylvie will triple Clever after we burst. Not yet. Abigail will... Look at my turn chart. We will Magic Break and double Bar for Raja. And then we will SLB all these. And this is going to push the 50 threshold. So let's go ahead and do this and this. Remember, this turn we have a 100% Thunder Amp, or Earth Amplify. There we go. Okay, so now the boss is going to gain a barrier. No more dispels, no more breaks. But he's also going to start ignoring cover on some of his attacks. So this turn is going to hit the party, but because we did contingency earlier, we're going to survive. But you need a little bit of bulk on your party. Painful, but we survive with the barrier. No big deal. So now we need to deal both ice and fire damage every turn to get rid of the barrier. Sylvie is using a fire and an ice weapon. So what we're going to do, Sylvie is going to just triple Clever just to break the boss's barrier. We'll SLB Abigail for the mitigation. We can't deal damage, so this is all just set up. So Fundamental can literally just kind of do whatever. We can just bolting. Yeah, the boss is immune to damage right now. So we're just bolting with the other one too, because kind of whatever. Clive is going to Elemental Fire, and then just, you know, whatever. And then Zahn is going to... Now we're going to swap to Dark Element. So Zahn is going to Full Moon to replace the element. Full Moon Phase. We're going to Fear for the big Dark Imperil. And we're going to Black Fog for the bigger Dark Imperil field. So we can just go ahead and use all these. Doesn't really matter the order because the boss is completely immune to damage anyway. Yeah, now we can only deal damage once per 3 turns, which is kind of a little bit irritating, but whatever. And he only ignores cover once per 3 turns as well, so this will not ignore cover. There we go. Okay, so turn 13. Again, Sylvie has to deal that fire and ice damage to the boss, so we're going to do that. Let's see, Sylvie can just deal Clever 3 times. Abigail can cover and do her breaks. Zahn on this turn is going to get ready for bursting next turn. So we're going to Midnight Hour him, and then we're going to just Fatal himself and Survival himself just to keep those buffs rolling. Now we're going to do a big LB damage buff on the fundamentals. We're going to do Limitless Surge Plus. And then one of them will just Bolting Strike twice. And the other one will do their Heavenly buff, which is not active currently. So we're going to Limitless Surge Plus and then Heavenly and just double bolting. Or single bolting. Now, we're going to use the special power-up move on Clive this turn. So he is going to do Gouge. I will not let you stand in my way. And then, doesn't matter. So we go ahead and cast all of these. And next turn, the barrier will be down, and we can do a little bit of burst damage. And remember, there's no dispels in phase 2. So we're not getting dispelled any. Okay, so this turn is going to be a little bit awkward, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Wait for all the autocasting to finish. Okay, so we SLB, SLB, SLB. We're going to LB Sylvie. But Clive, we want that LB field. Notice his LB field has worn off. So we have to let him do that this turn. So we're going to use We Can Do This Together. Then he's going to do Gouge and Rook's Gambit. And then Abigail will just bar for Rage 3 times after we do our bursting. So we're going to send Sylvie first. Now, we're going to click Clive. We're going to wait a moment for the field to register. Then we're going to send the back row and weave in Clive's chaining into the bursting. So, Clive, wait just a moment. Send the back row. We're going to miss a few hits on Clive. It's not that big a deal. He's mostly put into the field. Because we're using dark damage this turn, and Ethne's field, or Fundamental's field, does not boost dark damage. Okay, this turn we are going to take some damage through the barrier. Through cover. It ignores cover, but hopefully no one dies. Clive is the only risk here. If he gets like a bad variance roll, he might die. Hopefully he doesn't. Nah, he's fine. He's fine. We had barriers and everything. Okay, so again, we get set up for bursting yet again. So we're going to swap element back to Thunder element from this point forward. So let's see here. So this turn, not a whole lot to do with most of the party. we're going to have Zahn swap back to the multi-element Imperil field, and then just refresh the buffs on himself with Fatal and Survival. Fundamental can literally do kind of whatever. We'll just like bolting to hit the boss. Other one can just bolting to hit the boss. Doesn't matter. Looking at my turn chart. Oh, yeah. We're going to do the field next turn. I mean, we could do the field this turn. It doesn't really matter. Clive on this turn will Elemental Fire and then kind of whatever. We're going to SLB you. And remember, we got to deal light. Oh my god. Fire and ice damage. So we're just going to triple Clever with Sylvie. So we can do all this. Alright, some more attacks, no big deal. Yeah, we're going to be killing exactly on turn 20. So, you know, the clear was planned out with these immunity turns to exactly kill on turn 20 for the mission. So, yeah, we could have killed quicker, but it would have made it clear a little bit harder. Okay, so we're bursting next turn. So this turn, we are going to have Sylvie do Demon Killer on one of the fundamentals. We're going to hit the boss with Clever so that we break the barrier. And then we're going to do Bolt Egg for the AoE Thunder Imbue. Clive will just go ahead and do his big LB damage buff. Zahn will just do Deadly. There's really not much else to do here. Fundamentals, though, are going to do some more stuff. So one of them is going to do their Heavenly buff. Then we're going to do Supreme Spectrum Plus and Limitless Surge. The other one will Limitless Surge, Supreme Spectrum Plus, and this one will apply the field. We're going to swap to the Elemental field. And then Abigail will cover Contingency for the barrier and Magic Break. So we go ahead and do all of this. And we're going to get ready for bursting again next turn. It's not going to kill the boss, but it's going to set us up for that turn 20 kill. Okay. And here we go yet again. The barrier is down, so we do a burst. All the SLBs, a lot of auto casting. Okay, so Abigail will, after we burst, triple bar Faraja. Sylvie will shift at LB for the modifier. And the rest of the party will use their SLBs. So Sylvie goes first. And we wait. Send Clive. Send the back row. And then we can go ahead and bar Faraja. So once again, it's going to ignore cover, but because we did contingency last turn, we've got a decent-sized barrier, so it's relatively low risk here. We've got Abigail's SLB and all that active, so we're good. Okay. So now we're in the home stretch. We just get set up for pretty much killing. So thankfully, at this point, Zahn's projected buff is finally refreshed. So we can go ahead and just get that going. So we can just refresh Survival on himself, Fatal on himself, and projected that to the party. Again, the fundamentals don't have a lot to do on this turn, so we can just like bolting and bolting, because whatever. Clive can Elemental and then kind of whatever. We're going to SLB Abigail, and Sylvie will, again, we have to hit the boss with Fire and Ice, so she's going to just Clever again. So all of this. And it'll be an exactly turn 20 clear. Okay. So for the final turn, we're going to be using, what's his name? Clive to do his chaining skill thingy. So for this turn, we are going to have fundamentals, do plasma. Oh, not that. Plasma. Supreme Sanctum, And then this one can do field, kind of whatever. Other one can do plasma, supreme. Let's see, plasma, heavenly, and supreme. Zahn can just refresh the thick fog field. Clive is going to get his setup for next turns. We're going to gouge. I will not let you stand in my way, and gouge again. Abigail will cover and refresh the brakes. And Sylvie will hit the boss with fire and ice damage. Okay, and we kill it next turn. That is our 20 turn clear on Vlad. Now the 15 turn clear is a lot harder to do, which I will work on another day. Okay, so we just LB the back row and have Clive do his chaining move. Wait for the autocasting to finish. Okay, Sylvie will shift it LB for the modifier. Clive will do double gouge and Rook's Gambit. SLBU, SLBU, SLBU. And then as far as Abigail, not much to worry about. And there it is. That should be our 20 turn clear on the EXT version of Vlad. Got it. Alright, I'll show you the gear. So Sylvie's gear in the base form. Turn 1, we were in the base form for the surviving the ice attack. So 240 ice resist. The whole party has immunity to confusion from gear and 100 dark resist from gear. Blizzard Orb, we gave her the Savior's passive provoke, full evasion on Sylvie. She is our provoker. Shift form is still passive provoke, and she's using a fire and ice weapon with Poppy's paintbrush. Counter, passive provoke, evasion, etc. Abigail is not immune to ice after the imperils. We need 210 or less ice resist. So there you go. Other than that, counter build. And we gave her Saintly Castle, Cyclopedic Mythic Preservation, and Wisdom of Hest. Those are all auto buff skills that cannot be dispelled, so that after the boss's dispel, she has a better chance of surviving the attacks, and then a good magic tank card. Clive. I went with the fist weapon because we have permanent 50% fist in peril with fundamental force for free, while his sword in peril is a cooldown. So we gave him fist build. There we go. He is 100 dark, maxed on confusion, maxed demon killer, and there's the build we got. A little bit of LB fill with exceptional ingenuity, and then a card. Zahn is using right here 100 dark resist, confusion immune, maxed on demon killer, and there we go. His own card. My fundamental force, 100 dark resist, maxed on demon killer. She's actually got the overkiller from Ramu, so there you go right there. And then some chain speed, there it is, and then we gave her Ethany's card. And then the friend right here, maxed on pretty much the exact same build. Yeah, I gave him a build, and he copied it literally identically. So there it is. There we got our materia. I'll have a turn chart in the comments. As far as, you know, budget alternatives, yeah, maybe not this week. Let's check the damage breakdown just for curiosity. There we go. And there it is. So as you can see, Fundamental Force is definitely the carry, Clive is the leader, and Zahn is for support. But he did a little bit of damage. And there we go. And we got 2 out of 3 missions. Well, the last one, another day. And next up, we're going to be going back to, I think, X-Death and working on that 15 turn clear and the 20 turn clear. That I think now that I've, you know, thought about it some, I can definitely do that. Anyway, see you in a bit.